Question number 1. When my brother-in-law passed away, my sister stopped going to church. I think she was going to church largely to make him happy. Now she says that she doesn't believe there's a God. Is there something I can do to get her to reconsider her position? There are several reasons why a person may adopt the premise that God doesn't exist. People talk themselves into believing that there is no God because they want a lifestyle that God condemns. If there's no God, then there's no absolute right and wrong, and no judgment for what's wrong. Others have been convinced by the intellectual argumentation of professors, authors, and intelligent friends that there is no rational reason for believing in God, and to believe shows weakness and ignorance. Still others hold a loose conviction that there isn't a God in order to fit in with people they admire and want to call friends. The most common reason for abandoning a belief in God begins with anger at God for tragedy, heartache, or hardship in life. That can be the result of witnessing unimaginable cruelty, disaster, and pain in the world around us. Or it can be a very personal loss. It's easier to deny God's existence than to live with intensifying anger at Him. Denying the existence of God because you're hurt and angry at what He allowed to happen isn't rationally satisfying. It's like shaking your fist at the tornado that blew your house down. This isn't a rational issue. Feeling that there is no God is different from rationally concluding that there is no God. A person like the one described in the previous question needs someone to share her hurt, to listen without judgment, and to care. That may blunt the emotional pain sufficiently to allow questions to be asked, to elevate responses, and to share faith in the God who loves her. When emotions have subsided and the relationship is strong, a friend or loved one may ask, "What God don't you believe in? Can you tell me about Him?" It may be that I don't believe in that God either. Often, the God who is rejected is an arbitrary and vengeful being, whose decisions cause pain, and who refuses to answer the questions and pleas of the people who've been hurt. That's not our God. We want people to know the God who loves us so much that He punished His own Son in our place in order to remove our guilt and enable a day ahead when there will be no suffering, only joy in His presence. We can relate to a God who experienced our pain and suffering and then did something about it. To know Jesus is to understand the God worth trusting, even when we hurt and we don't understand. You earn the right to talk about Jesus when you listen respectfully, probe gently, and love genuinely. There are intellectual reasons to believe in the existence of God. The most common is often called the law of contingency or causality. It argues that something cannot come from nothing. Everything has a cause. No matter how many billion years you go back in time, there has to be a first cause. Either there is an eternal God who caused the universe to be, or matter and energy are eternal. In other words, people either believe there is a God who created what is, or they attribute to the creation itself the characteristics of God, such as being all-powerful, all-wise, and eternal. That attributes to mere matter a mind and a personality. The term Mother Nature is a strange mixture of atheism and pantheism, as if giving nature a name makes creation a substitute for the Creator. It is much easier to believe in a personal God than a semi-deified mixture of matter and energy. Nearly all scientists believe that the universe had a beginning, whether you call it the Big Bang or something else. A beginning presupposes a God who caused the beginning. With good reason, the Bible says, "The fool says in his heart, there is no God." Psalm 14, verse 1. The Bible has more to say. King David wrote, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands." Psalm 19, verse 1.